Just thought I'd make this video. I don't make the videos as well when I'm in my accommodation. Must be something to do with the stress, etc. Anyway, I'm going to push forward. The UK is known for its cold climate. Let me put it another way. It used to be. But now the UK and the rest of the world is hotting up. And this building which I live in, which is my accommodation, I know showing my bed, is getting too hot. We've got high humidity in the UK when temperatures get to, I don't know, 24, 25. Now, when this flat was built in the 70s, it was built for, a different type of climate, a much cooler climate. In the 1980s, which was the year when I was a childhood and etc., 25 used to be on the BBC ones, used to be in orange. It was that golden milestone. When the temperature hit 25, everyone got excited because they thought, oh, summer's here. Let's all celebrate. And then it used to last for a couple of days at most before it reverted back to cloudy weather. Today, but I don't know, since 1990 or 89 from record, I remember that hot day, 3rd of August 1990, where the temperature got up to 37. That was an exceptionally hot day back then. But then the temperature just swung back to normal, typical August weather. Now apart from, I think there was to be the occasional heat wave in 1990, I think it's 94, where temperatures stayed 30 for 4 weeks. I never witnessed that because I was in a different part of the country. People moaned that was unbearable. But when it was hot, when we had those hot spells in the 90s, I do recall it got a bit rainy, a bit windy, a storm came in and we got heavy rain and it tried to cool it down. Over time, that sort of, heat gradually started to become a little bit more stubborn. Normally the rain would knock the heat out the sky, but the odd day it never. So we went further and further and further. 2003, 2006, they were hot months, but I wasn't working outside. I was working in the supermarket, so I never really experienced the difficult climate. Moving on to, I don't know, after 2006, the climate sort of cooled down. We didn't get that hot weather. We got the stickiness, but we didn't really get noticeably hot weather for extended periods of time. I started the business in 2017, and 2018, I think it really started to bite. Long dry spells, hardly any rain, and I think the weather cracked in July. I think May, June, July were hot. Hardly any rain. We thought that was exceptional. 2019 didn't get as hot as summer, but we got the humidity. 2020, yeah, we got quite hot weather then. 21, yeah. 22 was the year where the temperature in the UK got above 40 for the first time. That was absolutely unbearable. Hardly any rain. The ground just completely dried up. It turned into a furnace. And it's been ever since that. 2023 was dicey, humidity. But since that day, 2024 to 26, that's been like the real heat. To get 25 was like the heat wave, 2 or 3 days. Then it's got, then it just moved the bar to, I don't know, 27 or something like that. Now it's like 28, 29, 3 days. They keep moving the bar higher to justify the climate change because, you know, different through generations, people are born and die. But now, working as a gardener, we're getting hotter and hotter more days are getting hot. I've got charts to support this. The intense heat at early May was record breaking in the UK. Now we've got it again in June. Unprecedented heat wave that probably may exceed 2003 in France, which is hitting. So countries like Paris are going to get more days of 40. We're going to probably get 32. Peterborough may escape lightly this year, 32, 34. London's just going to get 35, 36 on 3 days in a row. You see, we're getting these abnormal sort of hot spells that is happening. 36, 37. Dry wind coming. Now, this moving on from this video is I can't live in this accommodation because it's wasn't built to, you know, for the climate, and I'm still having to live exactly the same as when the climate was cooler. Society doesn't seem to change. It seems to me that everyone's just so disconnected, like the previous video I made about the Chinese on the beach. And funny enough, when I'm outside this accommodation, I suddenly worked on my website, and I worked by the sea, and all the ideas started to work. My brain shifted into gear what I need to do for the business, to modernise it, to keep it. Fantastic. But when I came back here, I spent the whole day yesterday, because it was humid, doing absolutely nothing. Because it's too hot. My body's just, you know, fighting off the heat, going in, becoming sluggish, trying to get rid of the heat. And I can't work when my body's going into overdrive in survival mode. Animal gets too hot in the outside, rest, doesn't it? So humans do the same. So this is why what I'm doing now is I'm putting all this camping gear, right, on wheels to wheel out. So when the weather does turn for the worst, which is happening more frequently, I can just pack up, get the tent up and set it up elsewhere, away from the city or wherever, where I can sort of try to get a more comfortable night. Because I can't work when, you know, when conditions are this hot. I've got no energy to do anything. It might actually help if I did go to these places that I might meet some new people who might communicate and collaborate within the business. But, you know, how can anybody work when they've got in these competitions, when the windows are big, the buildings are designed to trap heat, you still got to pay your charges, but the climate and everything else is preventing you from making progress. Sitting all day in front of a computer screen, you sweat. And, you know, no air conditioning, if like me. Number one, I can't afford. Number two is I don't own the building. I bought the property, but the flat belongs to a housing association. So how can I, you know, do anything? And if I put leaflets out now, and they're all hot and bothered, people don't take the information in. I'm trying to explain to clients about gardening, about how to do the procedures, but they're too stressed to take in the information. I'm misunderstood by lots of people. But at the same time, if they haven't got, they probably, you know, in their own worlds. How do I explain this? So what I'm doing now is I've built some wheels on here. I'm wheeling it out. I'm making this video deliberately lengthy. So I just want to show you that when I look back and do something else, I'll be able to look back on the YouTube videos which I made, and it may tell me, oh, might get a bit tough in that area, but hey, it's tough here. See, all this, I've downscaled my business. I had a 220-foot container, now I've got 120, and now I've got an 80. This, I don't know what I'm doing with it. Sometimes I think it might be useful to hold on to it, because I think a tool is a lot more valuable than the currency, if you're trying to say, because once I sell the item, I'm minus the tool and the currency is just paper. So I think you could work this out, that having the tools etc. is more valuable than paper currency. Anyway, I'm going to show you the next one. I'm going to wheel all this out down some stairs, which I'm going to do on the next bit. I'll show you the stairs. Well, out of the accommodation, not trying to film X, Y and Z, but this is what I've got to deal with as well. I can't put anything on the landing because I might get a fine for moving it. So I'm coming through here. Got to lock the doors. Got these tight corners that I've got to turn, which makes things awkward. Got these fire doors here, which I've got to navigate and go through. So that means I'll put everything on wheels. I'm still going to have to go it one by one. No, nobody in this flat. I don't get on with people. People are to themselves, you know what I'm talking. The fire door here. Now I've got some steep steps to go down. So these are the steps what I've got to go up and down each day. Alright. The shop, etc. These slipped on them a couple of times. So that takes time out of the day going up and down these stairs. And they're quite narrow. So I've got a fire door here, which I hardly ever use. This down here is another door. So as you can see, that's the equivalent of what I'm having to go up and down every day to shift things up and down. That takes time out of the day. Another fire door here. And going down here, I've got a small area here. The doors here are standard, very, very narrow. So it means I'm going to have to open the door. They close, they've all got buzzers. This one here is the same. It's, you know, you get the picture, don't you? That takes time and effort out of my day. And when I'm hot and having to climb all this, that's against me. And I've just trapped my thumb in the groove of the door as I try to get it out. That's going to swell up no end. Oh, it's just one fucking joke after another, this place. This place is just an absolute fucking joke. Trying to get everything out, don't I? So frustrating, paying the bills, trying to struggle, trying to get ends meet. Sometimes you just want to lash out and smack someone in the fucking face. Now I've loaded everything into the van. I've got the ropes and I've been going through this book for quite on and off SAS survival, and so I know how to do my knots and pull up my structures. So I'm just trying to travel efficiently as possible, as you know, weather's just changing beyond recognition. The climate's just getting hotter and hotter. I went down to a place called Hunstanton, and it was on the Norfolk Coast Bay. I think you know where I might be. And I managed to get some work done down there because there's a cool breeze by the sea. But inland it's just absolutely oppressive. The weather is just wearing me out. I'm trying to run a business but I can't do anything because it's just too flaming hot to work. Been looking at all the mechanics of the body. Everything you do requires energy from A to B. So if you're in a stuffy environment and you want to do some work, the body's got to work extra hard for it to do the work, because the body at the same time is trying to put the thermostat on and cool down, and you're working, and so you have to take more breaks, more water, you get tired easier. One of the things I'm trying to cut down at the moment is chess.com. It's just that it's a bit of an addictive habit of going on their computer, playing it, and then as it requires a lot of, you know, mental energy, you become, you know, drained again. So it's just like a one vicious bloody cycle after another. It's like today I've been looking at the French. They've got this massive heat wave, and sort of unprecedented in some areas, that some people in France are trying to cool off by going to cooler places. Like camping might be on the rise. Maybe it's not caught up here yet, but I think the way weather's going to go is going to have to start doing some camping and getting along with other people. Now, it's for me, it's going to be quite difficult because I've got to now find some green spaces around the Peterborough area, or just out, because at the end of the day I've got a business to run and bills to pay, and yeah, so I've got to do that. Just need to get my work done in a different environment, because at the moment I can't get it done in a 1970s brick house where everything is geared up for keeping you warm through the climate. So nothing's working out anymore. Might have to change my clothing. I do sort of, for now, until I've solved it, at least I can return for showers and washing and bathing and stuff like that, and cooking if I have to. Like I say, I bought a lot of this in 2020 when I followed some, you know, of those homestead channels, which of course weren't really homestead channels. They just, you know, to go real homestead, I'd have to, you know, this would be a lot worse than it actually is. So the trouble is, these people that go on these claim to be these homestead type of people, always go to, you know, a Costco or somewhere like that down the road, because I just can't do without the mod coms like the washing machines or etc. Anyway, so this is about me at the moment. Hopefully I may, you know, follow this pursuit and set up some structures just to show you what I'm all about. I think it'd be a bit more interesting than just some idiot just talking to a camera or etc. Yeah, so let's see how it all goes, and we'll go from there. I think I'll end this video for now and make another one.